Figure 4 Radio.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Figure 4 Radio.
Hello and welcome to Figure 4 Radio. My name is Luke O'Mac and, Merry Christmas, I guess.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you've had a lovely day. Or a lovely couple of weeks. How long does Christmas last? It starts like, for me, it starts like the 23rd.
My Christmas
ends.
music's been on since mid-November.
Right.
I've really gone to town with that this year. Because the thing is, I realise every year, when it gets to today, Boxing Day, you can't really listen to Christmas songs anymore.
Can I just chip in and say, hello, Ollie, how are you?
Yeah, sorry, hey. Did you
Join-
have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Good,
it was really
good,
nice.
Good. Did
Yeah.
you get good presents?
Socks, jocks and chocks. Sounds about right.
What did you get, Becca?
Socks, chocks and chocks. we had a strictly
Strictly socks, chucks, and jocks.
yeah,
Christmas.
no, we really quiet one for us anyway.
Yeah.
Way with fam and whatnot, but
That's what it's all about.
yeah, eating too much and
There you go.
how'd you do?
Luckily, I didn't drink too much yesterday, so I'm in one piece today. What was I saying? I was halfway through something.
I can't remember.
Me neither.
No, too much turkey.
Oh, no, Christmas. How long does it last? Yeah. We can't listen to Christmas music from today now. So
I guess not. It's
So I feel I basically kind of realised about mid-November that it was coming up to the time where I could listen to Christmas music. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to put it on in my car now.
To be fair, I didn't get all that festive with Christmas music. It took me to
love
the
it.
back end of
I
December.
love Christmas music.
I
love Christmas
I've got
music.
like a handful of songs I'll listen to.
I've even got my own Christmas song.
No,
But
I
I
saw.
can't plug it now because it's post-Christmas.
It's gone, yeah.
So I've got to wait another 360 odd days before I can start plugging
Well,
away
at
at my own Christmas song.
At least 3:30.
Yeah,
You get it
yeah.
in November. It's
I'll
fine.
push it mid-November.
So
it might be
this
Boxing
week-
Day. We're not giving up on our...
No, this week is part
podcast.
two
Part
of
two.
the yearly review.
Yes.
So it's the second third, reviewing from May
Last
to August.
week we did January to April.
April, yep.
Yeah, which included Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
Yep. Two of the big four gone already. Two of the big four gone already.
There you go. Yeah. So we're going to have to have one for this week and one for next week. As far as big four, we covered you getting absolutely smashed at WrestleMania. Me
Yep.
popping my socks off at
Thought
the
you were
Royal
gonna say your
Rumble.
cherry then I was like, I hope you didn't do that.
It felt
That's-
that good
that's a
when
Royal Rumble no
when
one
AJ
wants to
came
see.
out. So same format this week. Should we start with just the pay-per-views from
just run
WWE?
through it.
So Payback was the first pay-per-view of this. Do you call it trimester? I know it's a pregnancy thing.
I was going to
but
say, I thought that was like pregnancy
the triple, the first.
I suppose
this
it
third,
is.
Yeah,
I suppose it
this
is.
trimester of the year. Looking down the card, it was Baron Corbin and Ziggler. I liked that feud. I know it was a pre-show match, so it's no biggie. But I liked Baron Corbin and Ziggler because I like Baron Corbin, and I like Ziggler getting beaten up.
I love Ziggler getting beaten up.
Yes.
It's like the ideal Christmas present for me this year would just been a video of every time Ziggler's been kicked in
Ziggler
the
bumps,
face.
yeah.
That'd have been great.
Oh, could you imagine if they did like the 12 days of Christmas, but every instead of the harmony, it's just like super kicks. Kick, 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 kick. Ah! That would have been.
That would have been good.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. We also
On my
had
Christmas
another
list for next year.
Kalisto Ryback match according to my list. Not that I can remember it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it was? Payback was the day that the Vaudevillains officially became. They might as
more?
well have just quit
Yeah.
WWE. They killed Enzo.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Taking his head off.
Yeah, it wasn't a baseball slide, was it? It was like a...
It was a decapitation.
Yeah.
It was a guillotine slide.
It was... whatever it was horrid.
It was bad. That's potentially the worst injury of the year, if not Shane O'Mac Survivor Series.
I think the worst thing with it is that you just saw his eyes roll in the back of his head and you're like, right, that's it, it's done.
This is done. This is done.
This is why you're not getting a push this year, lads. Like,
this is why you're not getting the push ever.
Ever.
You are officially done. You may collect your paycheck to the end of your contract, then kindly
you are dangerous
off.
now, leave.
Yeah. We had a Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match, which of course I spuffed all over.
Yeah, I actually vaguely remember texting you. I was watching it on the bus, I think.
Okay.
And I remember vaguely texting you or Kai or both of you in the group and just being like, guys, you've got to watch this. Like, seriously, get out of bed and just watch this
but
now.
No, I do remember this now, I still only gave it 4 stars, though, but it was match of the night by far.
It wasn't quite Nakamura standard, but it was
fucking good.
It was so good.
We had The Miz versus Cesaro for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, the first the first pay-per-view match of Chris Jericho and Ambrose.
Yeah.
Do we want to get back into Jericho and Ambrose?
No.
After last week?
No.
Maybe not. Charlotte and Natalya and Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles. Now, Roman Reigns and AJ, that wasn't a bad pairing, if you ask me.
I was
best matches of Roman's career.
Yeah, like, I know a lot of people shit all over Reigns, and shit all over Reigns in general. Like, I don't want him as champ, I don't want him as that. He's actually a pretty solid worker.
Oh, what, Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Potentially, but one thing I did hear, I can't remember which podcast I was listening to.
Yeah.
Or if it was a show. But one thing I heard was, it could have even been a table for 3 on the network.
Okay.
I heard an interesting saying is you get some people who are athletes playing professional wrestlers.
Yep.
And some people are professional wrestlers.
Yeah,
I think Roman Reigns is an athlete pretending to be or portraying a professional wrestler. So, and I think that's one. And ever since I heard that, I've started noticing that people like, people that have purely come through WWE system rather than an indie star first. Kevin Owens is a professional wrestler. You right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just sneezing over here.
This is like the longest cold that we've had. Like, this has been like the 3-week-long cold.
It doesn't get any better with the weather.
It doesn't. But yeah, you get some people that are very good athletes.
Yep.
But they are playing the role of a professional wrestler. I think Roman Reigns is the prototype of that.
2 people that spring to mind as soon as you say that: Roman Reigns and Goldberg. And what do they have in common?
Okay, and maybe John Cena.
Not so much. But what do those 2 guys have in common? Their finisher is a spear. Wait.
Okay.
What is a spear? A spear is essentially a football tackle.
Yeah. American football tackle.
Yeah, that's not a foot slide. It's not, not an English football tackle.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it's essentially what it is. It's just a tackle. It's
you can do this on a football field. There you go. You can be a wrestler now.
Yeah.
Whereas Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, these guys are professional wrestlers. They've been doing it for way longer than the WWE have employed them for. They've been successful longer than the WWE have employed them for, and I think that's the big difference. But we digress. We've gone off the topic.
Yeah,
again.
We have a little bit. Back to the pay-per-view, as it were. Reigns and AJ. Yeah,
it wasn't a bad match. And I think when Reigns isn't being pushed down my throat, I don't mind him, but I don't like the fact it's predictable.
I think this is the thing. Like, it's the first time that I really kind of thought actually Reigns can work.
Yeah.
Because I know everyone says AJ puts on good matches.
Yeah.
But you need the person he's with to be able to not carry him but to be with him and to be
think the first time I thought it was the previous year when it was him and Big Show. I think I kind of was watching it and I got so into it, and obviously because Big Show's a different type of guy, Roman Reigns can't do the things he does with everybody else with Big Show.
Yeah.
He had to kind of put on, to actually wrestle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think my problem was Roman Reigns needs a character. And that's the thing. Like,
yeah, it's one of those things, like, and you can take it back to even someone like Kalisto. And it's like, tell me 5 facts about Kalisto.
He's short.
Okay.
He's athletic.
Oh, okay. Okay. Tell me 5.
No, I know what you mean. I like who is he as a person?
Yeah.
Like, why does he do what he does?
Yeah.
I think more recently, I remember there was a little chat that Reigns was having with Owens.
Okay.
And he said to Owens, "I don't want joke Owens joke. I want fight Owens fight."
Yeah.
And that to me resonated because you're learning about what Roman Reigns wants as a person. He's not saying I want a title shot or I want this. He's actually so in a way it kind of gave away something about his character because he wants fights. He doesn't want people to put on stupid jokes.
He just lacks character development.
Yeah,
like
so you think. Same with Apollo Crews. Same with Kalisto. Same with. I'm sure there's more people as well.
Sure there are. the shining stars.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about them.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about them because there's just no point.
No. No one wants to visit Puerto Rico.
Do you want a timeshare? No, nobody fucking does. Anyway, so definitely he needs character development. I mean, it wasn't a bad main event, but I think whenever you've got Zayn and and Owens in an actual...
just steals the show, doesn't
in an
it?
actual, program, you got no one else has got a chance. Nobody else has a chance. And that's the thing, and their match was just a standard one-on-one. It was just part of the feud, and it was just fucking brilliant. Then we had Extreme Rules. Extreme in brackets, inverted commas even. We had Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin again. Was that the one that ended in a kick to the dick because it was an ODQ?
Yes.
Yeah, not bad. The Usos versus the Club. Kalisto versus Rusev.
I can't remember who won the Club versus Usos.
Don't think it matters. And I think if you can't remember, that says it all.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if that was the first time the Club were made to look stupid. Or if that was later on.
No, I think it was later on, I think.
Okay.
But they just lost. We had the New Day versus the Vaude Villains. Of course, after killing Enzo and Cass, let's just throw them to the champs.
I think,
for me, a very big potential match of the year, The Miz versus Cesaro versus Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This match is so good for a number of reasons. I'll get to that in a minute. We had Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose again in a cage match. That was fucking awful.
That's one of the worst of the year.
Yawn. Couldn't give two shits.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that like an Ambrose Asylum match?
It was an Asylum cage match.
Something
which
shit.
was basically just... There's a
cage match.
There's a load of weapons at the top of the cage, and you can't finish the match until everything's been grabbed and used at least once.
I think what I remember of that match, I think the plant pot got a bigger pop than anybody else in that match.
What the fuck?
So
fucking plant pot.
Yeah.
There was like a chainsaw in there as well, wasn't there? Or something
it was
like
like
that.
wrapped in barbed wire, I think.
Oh, yeah. But it was just... Yeah, and I remember there being thumbtacks, but the whole thing was just... bothered. It was just a boring, horrible match. It
just seemed to be extreme for extreme's sake, and no.
We had
Charlotte...
like
the early days of ECW.
Yes. But we'll get back to that in the next few weeks, I'm sure. We had Charlotte and Natalya again. Roman Reigns and AJ Styles again, but this time in a no DQ match. That match was good.
Yes.
If I remember, was that the one that was restarted a few times?
Yeah.
Was it changed from something to something and then...
Was it restarted? I don't remember.
I'm just trying to think.
I remember it being pretty good, though.
Yeah. I for some reason, I get the feeling that... I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember if it was restarted or not.
I'm just trying to think, because I know that... I'm trying... Because something happened and then it was... wasn't it like a double knockout and then it was then made a last man standing?
Wasn't it like... Yeah, a double count out and then...
And it just kept changing.
Yeah, and I think it ended up just being just kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Just knock seven shades.
Yeah.
But the reason why The Miz, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens was so good, there was so many sub stories going on because The Miz and Cesaro had a bit of a back and forth.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zayn and Owens. So not Zayn. Zayn and Owens.
Yeah.
Were just fucking gold dust. If I remember rightly, that it was the very end was the thing that sold me on it. Was that I think Sami Zayn could have gone for the title. But instead he turned around and he did a suicide dive on Owens and carried on pounding on. And it was almost like...
The title doesn't matter.
It does matter, but his hatred just took over.
Yeah.
And it was like... And you could tell that by the time he turned round, he'd lost the belt or lost the match. And that look in his eye, that realisation of, oh, fuck, I was this close. But I let it slip because of my passion and my emotion. But that's the thing,
like, you stick Zayn and you stick Owen in a ring, and regardless of whether you know their backstory or, you've seen them wrestle before,
they're going to suck you
tell
into
a story.
Yeah.
Regardless. And they're just so good at what they do. And I think, I'll give Jericho props this year, actually. In the back end of the year, at least, anyway. He's been very good. He just had some really shit matches with Ambrose, and I actually think that says more about Ambrose than it does Jericho.
Yeah.
So
if I'm being honest, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that match, I cannot wait to watch it back again. That ladder match, because it was just so good.
What are you going to do when you get to the end and you have to watch them every month? Or every 2 weeks, as they're going to be?
Well, I think I figured it out.
You're going to start again?
At the rate I was going, it's going to take about 15 years to catch up.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to watch like 2 a week if I want to catch up at any time. anytime soon. But yeah, that's another story for another day. Then we had a show that I've got conflicting feelings about in NXT TakeOver the End.
Okay.
Because everyone was like, what does it mean by the end? And obviously it was the end of almost like, I think they said it was the end of beginning of NXT.
Can we just quickly jump back a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Because you've jumped into June.
Have I?
Yeah, you've jumped into June with NXT, and there was a nice big thing there.
Wait a second. And which is
Broken Matt Hardy debuts.
Oh, well, we're going to get to that after we've covered the pay-per-views.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll get to those notes. I promise, because we've got a lot to get stuck into there.
Okay. Go on then. Right, carry on.
So yeah, NXT
June,
the End.
NXT the End. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people were wondering what it was all about. In hindsight, it kind of was the end of the first, almost like the first era of NXT, if you will. So the first, the golden
big
era.
Group of stars have moved up to the main roster, and they're ushering in the next lot, as it were.
Yeah, and I think this was the point where a lot of talent had been taken away, and it was very obvious that a lot of talent had been taken away.
Yeah, and I think this was where they started to looking elsewhere.
Yes,
for more established stars.
Yeah, and then also kind of start building up other people. So we had on Andrade Almas making his debut against Ty Dillinger. I still don't get him, Cien Andre Almas. Like, he just doesn't seem to get over.
Yeah,
he was one of these guys that was huge on the indies, and now no one really gives a fuck.
But then Ty Dillinger, who I think he's been there like 10 years or something stupid, hasn't he?
Forever. Yeah.
But for all of us, some reason out of nowhere has just become NXT's new kind of like
new Tyler Breeze.
Yeah,
he will just put anyone over because he's told. American Alpha and the Revival in another fucking just amazing match.
Yeah, you could fill a whole list of just matches.
Man,
with
honestly, I think I did, to be honest. Every match they had this year on pay-per-view has made my potential my potential list of top 10 that we're going to have to review soon. Shinsuke Nakamura, Austin Aries, that match had so much potential on paper, it just didn't live up to it. I think I built it up too high in my head.
Yeah, I think at the time, like, we saw the Nakamura Zayn match, and we're like, oh, we can see what he can do. We know what Aries is capable of. And again, I think I said to you at the time when it was announced, this is going to be the show stealer. This is going to be really good.
On paper, it had to be, but
it just wasn't.
You know what? I'm starting to think that Austin Aries he's past his prime now, if I'm being honest.
He's what? He's 36, 37?
This is the thing. I think when he was in Ring of Honor and his early TNA run, or his second TNA run, especially.
Was this when he created Option C?
Yes.
Right,
He was amazing then, but I'm starting to think he's past his prime.
Starting to dip a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know
but
what.
I still think he's his name is still established enough to help get the brand over.
Without a doubt.
You know, to still help push people. I don't think he's past it in that
he's
sense.
so good on the microphone, it's unreal.
Oh, yeah.
One interesting thing I think I like as well is that they had this match here, but then it was Shinsuke Nakamura that kind of broke his orbital bone or whatever it is and put him out
in the face.
It looked gnarly as fuck.
That was horrid. Yeah.
And then we had Samoa Joe and Finn Balor again on the cage match. I think the coolest thing about that was the way that the cage came down. It was like this kind of automatic folding down cage, which looked quite funky.
I haven't seen that in
that was quite cool
on the main roster, as it were.
But then
again, it was a Joe Balor match, wasn't it?
It was just the same old brawl, and I just don't really. Yeah. I'm just not as big on those guys on Joe and Balor as I am Owens and Zayn. I think those two are my guys.
I think unfortunately, because of the injury to Balor, he hasn't had the time or the opportunity to get himself over like he was in NXT.
True.
But hey, you know.
But then the other thing actually was after the American Alpha Revival match was the Authors of Pain coming out and just
the
clearing
debut of the
house.
Authors of Pain, and they looked scary.
I quite like them, to be honest. If I'm being honest, I know they can't really wrestle in the ring, but then wrestling isn't necessarily about wrestling. It's about entertaining and being a character, and they are. Yeah, I just hope that they can continue to be booked right.
I think the highlight for me with the Authors of Pain this year was when they faced TM61.
Oh yeah, that was by far their best match. But then that's probably the only match they've had that's lasted more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair.
They are the tag team equivalent of early Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I guess so. But then I think, you know, you work with people like TM61 and, you know, American Alpha and whatnot, and they're going to force you to wrestle.
Well, yeah, it's true. Yeah, when they get put up against non-jobbers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to see where they go from there. Then we have Money in the Bank. Now we can ignore Golden Truth and Breezango.
Oh, it's Febreze, but yeah.
What is what?
It should be called Febreze.
That match is going to feature in my worst matches of the year, but we'll get to that at that
That's
podcast.
4 characters, unfortunately, that could be dumped and no one would give a shit about.
I'd give a shit about Tyler Breeze, but mainly because of the Breaking Ground series.
That
fair really
enough.
endeared me to
But
him,
I think it's the thing of like they've done nothing with him.
Yeah, he needs to be called up to NXT so he can really reach his full potential.
Exactly.
There was the Lucha Dragons and the Dudleys on the pre-show as well. No one cares.
Nope.
New Day versus Club versus Enzo and Cass versus Vaudevillains. Can't really remember much about that. There was another Ziggler and Corbin match. Here we go. Charlotte, Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. Fun fact, Charlotte didn't win it, and it was a pay-per-view. Granted, it wasn't a title defense.
Yeah.
But Charlotte's only loss on pay-per-view this year.
I think that's the thing they've tried to push, is that she's won every pay-per-view
title
match,
defense.
but it's every title defense. Yeah.
Because Natalya and Becky Lynch beat one of them pinned Dana Brooke, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, so it doesn't count as her loss, but
but she also didn't win. Apollo Crews versus Sheamus had potential, didn't really go anywhere.
Yep.
John Cena versus AJ fucking Styles. Now here we go.
Okay, so
that was a match
if I remember
right?
correctly, this was the dodgy finish where the club came out, gave Cena the Magic Killer,
maybe. But up until that point,
I think up until that point, that match was solid. And say what you like about John Cena, I am not a big John Cena fan. I will not wear a lime green T-shirt and a banner.
Was it SummerSlam that the club came out?
No, I don't think it was. No,
I'm trying to think now.
No, it wasn't SummerSlam.
No, I think AJ Styles beat John Cena, not clean, but no interference in the first one.
Which one was it where the club came out?
I get the feeling that was SummerSlam because they signed the contract. We can have. We should have really. We should have really researched
this a little.
Yeah, but anyway, while we're looking
Christmas
into that,
has been and gone. Let's.
Yeah, we're still recovering. The other matches there was Rusev versus Titus O'Neil for the US Championship. No one cared. Owens versus Zayn versus Cesaro versus Ambrose versus Jericho versus Del Rio in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Was actually one of the best Money in the Bank.
Potentially. I haven't seen too many to compare it to, but it was an alright match. I think looking down there, I would have rather had Owens or Zayn or Cesaro or Jericho or Del Rio win the Money in the Bank belt. Basically, I don't like Dean Ambrose.
That's fair.
We're going to really break down his year next week.
Yeah,
but I'm just not a fan of Ambrose. What have you got on the
just quickly
on the Cena match?
I'm trying to figure it out. So, their first match. It says, where is it? No, hang on. In a rematch, their instant classic. So we're talking about Money in the Bank, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this was where Gallows and Anderson came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Still, good match.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing that, if there was a letdown in it, was the interference.
It was the fact it wasn't a clean ending, but it set up the club as being the club.
Yeah.
Then we had, and of course, Money in the Bank was the night where, and I'm sure this was the only reason this all happened, so they could say the soundbite, the night that every member of the Shield held the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Seth went in as the champion.
Roman went in as the champ.
Roman, sorry, went in. Yeah,
Seth came out, and then Ambrose cashed in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the WWE love the memory of the Shield.
We saw it at Survivor Series as well. The small reunion with the powerbomb through the table,
which was cool. But to me, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that they were.
It's been just over a year.
Yeah. I'd much rather have them last a little bit longer, then imploded, and then maybe do the reunion spots in about 5 years' time. It all seems a bit rushed.
Yeah.
Not rushed, but fuck it, let's do it now. We've got no patience. It's the MTV kind of age where there's no.
I think
everything happens now.
I think ideally with the brand split, you would have put Seth on one and Ambrose and Roman's on the other.
Potentially,
because then that Ambrose and Seth Ambrose and Reigns get on.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see a feud between them. So they can go and do their own separate things.
Whereas it's been too easy to keep them together.
Yeah, it's too easy to throw Seth in the mix, and
without a doubt.
So yeah.
So what are our thoughts with Dean Ambrose being the World Heavyweight Champion?
I'm going to refer you back to two other people who have been in his situation. One who, at the minute, I think is going through some kind of career revival, and the other one I wish his career was dead.
Okay.
The Miz and Ziggler.
Okay,
Both of those men were mid-carders who got the push to the top, won the big belt, and then...
But you talk about the IC Championship?
No, I'm talking about the fact that you have both won the World Championship belts,
yeah.
but they are essentially just mid-carders. They don't have the ability to main event. Well, I say they don't have the ability to. They haven't had the build properly
the character
to main
development,
event.
the booking.
And that's exactly what happened with Ambrose.
Yeah.
He was the fan favourite after the Shield split for some reason.
I liked him as the chaser. I liked it when he kind of almost stole the belt off of Rollins and
he was wandering around taking selfies with it and stuff.
Pretended to be the champ. But I think so I listened to his podcast with Colt Cabana from a few years ago. I listened to his podcast with Stone Cold. And that's completely put me off the guy. He just sounds he sounds far too laid back. And I think he's even said, one day I'm not going to be employed by the WWE, and when that happens, that's fine. I'm just going to enjoy myself while I'm here. But it shouldn't be the case. It should be he's willing to fight for every day. He should care if he's not employed.
I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of questions that he was asked by Stone Cold that
Stone Cold pushed him.
That if he'd answered properly, like how he wanted to, he'd have been fired then and there. Simple as that.
Maybe. But it was just like Stone Cold's like, I want to see some fire. I want to see you caring, and he's like, well, it's just not my style, man. He's like, Stone Cold's getting really passionate. And
Stone Cold had the passion.
I don't see any passion from Ambrose.
Stone Cold had the passion. He took a year out because, everyone goes through that. Yeah, everyone goes through that. But he came back and he was probably some of the best wrestling we've seen from him, even with his injuries. He's a man that loves the business, and I don't get that from Ambrose.
I don't get passion from it. I don't feel the passion.
I watched a documentary a few weeks back about CZW.
He played a massive part in that.
But I just feel like, because they only, they have a few more shows now, but back then, it was quite an old documentary. They only had 2 or 3 shows, big shows, a year. And I just feel like he'd rather just do that. He'd just plod through the
He'd rather
the
be
indies and
he'd rather be a slightly lazy big fish in a small pond than a medium-sized fish in an ocean. Where he's got, where he's surrounded by people that are very passionate about it.
I think because the crowd got so far behind him when the Shield broke up, that's why he got to where he did. I think I don't know. I just don't see him as a main eventer at all.
He's not. And in fact, in all honesty, looking at the Shield, one thing I've realised is that separately, I don't really think I like any of the guys separately, whereas together, I really dig them.
I don't know. I quite like Seth.
Yeah.
I think
he's grated on me since his return, but only because he's been booked so badly.
I liked him. My highlight for Seth since the split of the Shield was when he had both the US and the his arrogance was through the roof, and he was such a knob, and it was just like, everything you say is winding me up, but that is intentional, and that is why and he can back it up in the ring, with the exception of hurting Cena, Sting, but they've stopped him doing that move now. So. I don't think. And in fact, you told me about the article in FSM where they basically just said that Ambrose is not the main event guy that everyone thinks he is. He is a mid-carder at best. IC Championship at most, and even then I don't think I'd want him to have that belt.
100%. We then go into Battleground. In July. Battleground, we had the Usos versus Breezango. Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus... Oh, no, wait a second.
We've had this. Hang on.
No,
We're moving to August.
Money in the Bank was Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch.
There we go. That's right.
Battleground was Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Sasha and Bayley. Now, actually, I tell you what, tell a lie. I think it was Battleground that Charlotte lost because it was Bayley that pinned Dana Brooke.
Okay. Fine.
So, or tapped her out or something like that.
Yeah.
So actually, but either way,
yeah.
Charlotte didn't win that one. They might have won the other one though. They probably beat Becky Lynch. But no, it was
Not surprised.
Becky Lynch was tapped out to the figure 8. Then Natalya turned on Becky Lynch.
That's right.
There we go.
There we go.
Sasha Banks brought out Bayley as a surprise tag team partner,
which everyone knew was going to happen.
Yeah. We had the New Day versus the Wyatt family, which would be so much better now that they're both tag team champions on their respective brands. Rusev and Zack Ryder.
I'm really quite annoyed by the brand split happening when it did.
Yeah.
Because actually, I think keeping the Wyatts versus the New Day would have been so good.
True.
It was just the start of that feud, and then they're like, oh yeah, now you're going
by the
separate
way,
ways.
yeah, split up.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens again, and another really good match. I think I gave that one a 4.5 stars, which makes it better than the other one they had. Becky Lynch and Natalya, The Miz and Darren Young. That's going on my worst match of the year list.
Quickly going back to the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens one.
Okay, yeah.
Is that the one where he gives him 2 Helluva kicks?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember because it all blurs into one. But and this is the thing: Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens always do something different. Like where Sami Zayn, the bell went and Sami Zayn flew in with a Helluva kick.
Yeah.
Literally, and you're like, holy fuck! Because that's the thing. Because so many. Because so many matches start, lock up, tie up, or slow walk, or just brawl. Whereas that was like pow. It was like whoa,
straight away.
Yeah.
No,
so that was like starting it with an exclamation mark.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one had Sammy. Was Sammy win that one?
I haven't got it down as who won.
Okay,
but maybe
because I think that is the one where he gave him the Helluva kick, and Kevin was leaning forward, and Sammy was like holding him.
Yeah.
And you think, right, at this point, the normal Sammy would just put him back and walk away, and he puts him in the corner and turns back and goes, I'll do it again.
Yeah,
just gives him another one.
Have a second
and
one.
It was just so good. Again, it's what we said earlier about the storytelling. It was so good.
And it's different spots that you don't expect.
Yeah.
And I said Sami Zayn has a habit of this. Like in the best out of 3 falls he had with Cesaro in NXT, right towards the end, he kicks out of a neutralizer at 1.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And no one kicks out at 1 these days, but to kick out at after such a powerful move that far into a match, it was like, it's just spots that you don't see. And it's like, and it was almost like it stops you from watching on autopilot. It kind of gives you a bit of a slap in the face. It throws some cold water at you and goes, oi, by the way,
this is happening.
You're not watching a standard match. This is fucking us now. So I love Sami Zayn for that. We also had John Cena, Enzo and Cass versus the Club, and
I think that was the start of the downfall for the Club, because that was when they had
without a doubt. Because that was AJ Styles and
because then I think that
Gallows
was the whole Dr. Gallows and Anderson and the whole
that came in when they started taking on the New Day, but that we were coming up for that without a doubt. That was bad.
Yeah,
and we ended on a triple threat between Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. I won't lie to you, Battleground. Reading down those matches, I couldn't barely remember anything apart from the stupid finish between The Miz and Darren Young.
Was that when Bob Backlund got Darren
in a chicken wing?
No.
No, Darren Young. No, it was a stupid ending where
it had something to do with the Miz's wife. Didn't Backlund get sent away for pushing the Miz's wife,
or being close enough to her, and then Miz pushed him over, and then Darren Young gave him the chicken wing on the outside, but the referee just called it off for no reason. And it was a bullshit finish. I don't know what happened.
Darren Young disappear again.
Yes, that would be good. Battleground, I remember nothing about.
No, I don't really remember too much about
moving
it.
Swiftly on. NXT Brooklyn. We're getting into SummerSlam season.
Yes, we are actually.
Brooklyn was No Way Jose, Austin Aries. Ember Moon. I'll tell you what,
her debut was good.
That finisher and the way she looks, I'm a fan. I am a fan of the Moon.
I see.
Yeah, I would Ember her Moon all night long.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know. I'd love to find out. Andrade Almas versus Bobby Roode.
your favourite.
Glorious. I'll tell you what, Bobby Roode, right? He was so over before he even stepped foot in NXT because of that music.
Oh, of course he was.
That music has been a fucking lifeline for him. Right. I'm not even kidding now, right? I have listened to... there is a version of that music on YouTube that lasts for half an hour.
Right, okay.
I have listened to that on repeat on at least 2 separate occasions where it has at least repeated twice. Solid. And I don't grow bored of it. It is my alarm tone in the morning. It is my ringtone for when someone calls me. If I'm doing something and I'm bored, I will put that on and listen to it for literally hours on end. I love it.
You're quite a special person, aren't you?
I hope so.
In the nicest possible way.
Yeah, I don't want to be boring.
I'll listen to intros. I go to the gym and I'll listen to Nakamura's
I've got to play this on YouTube in my favourite entrance music, like Apollo Crews, bland wrestler, but
Great
I love
music.
his music.
Yeah.
Love his music. There's lots of good music. Even Samoa Joe's one.
Surely, if you're going to have anyone's entrance music as an alarm tone, surely you would pick Cesaro's.
What, you think the cops are coming for you or something? I think we need an episode talking about music actually, because I love so many entrance musics. Then we also we had DIY versus the Revival for the first time.
Yep.
It was an interesting, good match.
Yeah, it was a good match. Actually, it was alright.
In fact, I think I gave it match of the night, according to my little list here. We had Asuka versus Bayley again, and we had Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the first time.
And that was when Nakamura won the title?
Yes, kicked Joe's ass.
Yeah, he
Broke
did.
his jaw, I think, if I remember rightly. Or
He
dislocated
did.
it.
Oh, yeah, he gave
Allegedly.
him a very stiff kick.
And was that when Joe cut his eye and the ref was calling it off? And
No, I think it was against Balor beforehand. Yeah.
Well, I get the feeling that Joe was cut again in this one. But not as bad. Either way, it was a good show. A really good show. And I think...
Yeah, actually.
I think they blew SummerSlam out of the water.
I think this is the thing, the takeovers are always really good.
Yes. I'm starting to almost expect too much from them now, though.
I think
they're the match of the weekend before it's they're the card of the weekend before it's even happened.
I think before the purge, before all of the people were stolen for the brand split.
Now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, but actually, to be fair, it could do quite a lot of good for NXT.
Well, I mean, it kind of gives them a shot in the arm because they now have to wake back up again. I guess
exactly.
Which is important.
But then, obviously, following on from Brooklyn, we had the main event of the month, as it were, which was SummerSlam.
Yes.
Which always seems a little bit kind of of the four big four. Yeah. It always just seems like the non-event because Royal Rumble has its own has its own stipulation. Survivor Series, WrestleMania. Yeah, Survivor Series has its own stipulation, and SummerSlam is kind of
just there.
Yeah,
well, it's like this, the WrestleMania of the summer almost. I think they say.
Yeah, but it is that kind of thing of the kids aren't at school anymore. Let's put on a really big wrestling show.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
I think for me, I was worried going in because last year SummerSlam ended on such a weird note with Undertaker and Lesnar, and we stayed up and watched it live, and I was just like, "What just happened?" sort of thing. It was a bit anticlimactic. This year was kind of the same again, but we'll get to that. So we have 3, and I think if I remember rightly, SummerSlam was the biggest. It was actually bigger than WrestleMania as far as matches and the card goes. So we had 3 pre-show matches.
Yep.
We had American Alpha, Hype Bros, and Usos versus Vaudevillains, Ascension, and Breezango.
Can I just say, since the brand split, the amount of tag matches, it's just gone through the roof, and I hate it.
It's almost as if Teddy Long's been booking it.
Oh Christ! There's a reason I stopped watching when he was general manager.
Yeah. We also had the Dudley Boys versus Neville and Sami Zayn. Don't really get why. And we had Sheamus versus Cesaro. I think that might have been the first match in their best of 3.
Best of 7.
Best of 7. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But then the first match was Enzo and Cass versus Jericho. Now at the time, I was a bit pissed off that Enzo and Cass lost. But looking at where Jericho have gone, best friends,
I can see why that was a good annoyed. I can see why you'd be annoyed because you think, they've just thrown these two together.
Yeah,
it
meant nothing. But
they're
actually,
the Canadians, they don't hate. They hate America. But no, yeah, the story that's come from that has been amazing.
So that was a bit weird. Then Charlotte re-won the women's championship from Sasha, which was weird. I wasn't happy about it.
Hot potato game that they carried on.
Yep. The Miz and Apollo Crews actually was quite a good match. I thought was probably the best match of the night at that point.
I just think if you were to create a generic wrestler,
yeah,
you'd have Apollo Crews.
Yeah,
now, I can't,
which is a shame because he's got the ability by far.
Yeah, there's just something about him which is just a little bit too.
He's too smiley.
Yeah, he's too.
Maybe
nice.
he needs a heel turn.
Oh, he needs more than a heel turn.
If he could pull it off, maybe he needs Paul Heyman.
No, I don't even think Heyman could get him over.
Is it not that desperate?
Not yet.
No.
No.
But then John Cena, AJ Styles stole the fucking show.
Obviously.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, we mentioned it last week about AJ going against Jericho and finding his foot in. I actually don't think AJ's had a bad match.
Oh, he hasn't. No, not even near.
Even when he had to lose to fucking Ellsworth for a number of weeks, like even when he got his own back on him, and you know
he still makes it
the
work.
Inevitable heel turn and whatnot. But it was just, I don't know.
Yeah,
like he can't put on a bad match. It's not in his nature.
It's true. It's true.
And I think I was saying this to you earlier. Like, say what you like about John Cena, the guy can work.
Yeah, no. It's the thing. There's an old podcast that. At time of listening, it may be on iTunes, it may be on YouTube.
Wherever Kai put it.
We dissected John Cena at the time when he was doing
like
his
frog.
We broke down his character when he was doing the US Championship Open Challenge thing.
That was really good.
Yeah, 100%. And we talk in length about that. But that's, I say, you can go and listen to that whenever you like.
And where can you listen to that?
Well, so it could be on iTunes and Stitcher and Podomatic. It could be on YouTube. .com/F4TV. It depends how quickly you're listening to us, I guess.
Cheap little plug.
There you go. We also had New Day in the Club, Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler.
Can we just hit on the club for a second?
Oh yeah, no, of course this was New Day versus the Dr. Gallows and Dr. Alice Anderson making testicle jokes,
and
which was the worst possible move they could have done.
Like they made them look so weak for so long, and then they had that one, I think it was I can't remember what pay-per-view it was now, bear with me, I will find it. I want to say it was Hell in a Cell. It may have been,
where they came out as actual just
them two.
Yeah.
Just them two. They came out, they kicked ass,
and
then left, and then they went into the Survivor Series match.
They should be there to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and they should be all out of bubble gum.
And then they went into the Survivor Series match. Granted, they weren't the ones to win it, but I think they got 3 of the eliminations.
Yeah,
they looked really strong. Yeah. And then out of nowhere again, they're getting beaten, and they're looking weak. And it's like, what?
They could have been, because obviously in Japan, it's like
they were mass. They were.
It's so a legitimate. You know, you don't really have silly, like. Well, I suppose you do, but not on the same campy nature as America.
Yeah.
You know, they were legit, and they've just been ruined, I think. Anyway,
yes.
We could bitch about that all day.
We could.
Ziggler and Ambrose for the World Heavyweight Championship. Good build. They kind of tried to make it seem like a big deal. It wasn't. But it kind of just highlighted that now the Universal Championship match
It just goes to what I said earlier about the pair of them being mid-carders. And
and it kind of made the belt an obvious mid-card belt as well.
Yeah, it
kind of showed it that it wasn't as important.
Yeah, that's exactly what it did.
We had with 3 women versus 3 women. Just whoever was left, I guess.
Just throw them into a fight.
Then the interesting decision. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor went on first out of the 3 main events for the Universal Championship. Then Rusev and Roman Reigns. And then Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Now, Finn Balor, he got his shoulder dislocated.
Just carried on like a trooper.
Like a fucking champ.
And won. But I think his moment should have closed the card.
Yes.
I think if you're gonna create a new belt...
And who saw Finn Balor winning? Like, I didn't predict it.
No.
I thought it was a shoo-in.
Whoever
for Rollins.
whoever thought, okay, we're paying Brock Lesnar X amount, he's got to go on last. No, you tell a story first.
Yeah.
Regardless of who's in it. And the biggest thing in that night would be an unexpected win for what would essentially be the new guy, because he was only drafted to Raw a few weeks before. First Universal Champion, and that's how you close a big show.
On a shock. I guess they still did it on a shock in a way,
but it was a shit
but
one.
then Rusev and Roman Reigns was a non-match, but it was a really fun little brawl.
It annoyed me.
I liked that brawl.
That whole feud annoyed me. For the simple fact of, just because Rusev is foreign, he's automatically the heel.
Yeah.
Whereas Roman, and we've shouted on him for it before, and we've shouted on WWE for this before. Roman was the one doing the heel tactics. He was picking on Lana. He was interrupting. He was being disruptive, and Rusev was essentially being a very good husband.
He was, being
a nice guy,
sticking up for his missus.
Yeah,
but I like the brawl. I kind of like it when Roman Reigns brawls because it feels natural, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's him showing some emotion, which is what I want to see.
Yeah, sticking him in a ring and telling him to go, 20 minutes technically isn't what he does.
Yeah.
He is a brawler.
That's it. That's what he should be like. But then we had Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, and Brock Lesnar basically killing Randy Orton
with a good couple of elbows.
Busting him open, splitting him like smashing his head in like a fucking watermelon. It was
a non-event.
Yeah,
that's how you describe it. It was a non-event. Again, it's one of those things. It got you talking about it.
True.
And it was like, oh my god,
it was
what's
kind of
happened to
cool
Randy?
to see blood again in a way. I know that sounds weird.
But it was just, I don't know. I don't think as much as they push Lesnar, for me personally, I'd actually rather see Reigns than I would see Lesnar right now, because the way they have pushed Lesnar this year. Just I don't care about seeing him anymore. I really don't.
He's done. But yeah, and it was a weird feel.
Yeah,
it was a weird feel. Looking back over this third of the year,
trimester. Trimester.
This trimester. The only RIP I've got noted was Mr. Fuji.
Yeah,
fucking legend. I love Mr. Fuji because he's like a cheeky. He's obviously a heel, but he was like a cheeky chappy heel.
He
where
was
like
really
you want to
good.
tell him off, but also kind of like just like, I don't know, like, oh, you little
you little scalp.
Yeah, like you want to tell him off,
Stop
only
doing it.
Only because you feel like you have to.
Yeah,
sort of thing. I
love
telling
Mr.
you
because I've told the other children to stop it.
Yeah. But apparently he was like a legit I think he ran a few marathons, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah,
he was quite an athlete, which I didn't expect. Debuts in May. Eric Young made his first NXT appearance.
Yeah, that was before his full debut, wasn't it? Yeah.
I still love it when very TNA guys debut in NXT and people lose their shit.
Oh yeah,
because you almost feel it's the same people that shit all over TNA.
I'll be honest, like I shit over TNA, but then I will always say to myself, but I like this person, I like that person. Yeah. I would shit over them as a brand,
that's true.
Not the wrestlers.
TM61 debut. Don't really like. I mean, I don't mind them, but I just don't get their thing.
My moment of actually I could really get behind these guys was the match we mentioned earlier with Authors of Pain. I actually thought you were really good in that Dusty Classic.
That was probably the best
really
match
good
for either of them at that point. I said Authors of Pain debuted in June. In July, Finn Balor, American Alpha, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Mojo, and Carmella got called up. But also in July, James Ellsworth was squashed by Braun Strowman.
That was the first time. That was the first time we saw him.
Which is crazy. He's had a good year as Ellsworth, really.
He got picked up a full contract, didn't he?
He took that.
He did really well.
Oh!
I just love the fact that after the super kick, I was like, no chin music, no chin music. Like, that was
brilliant.
Great.
It's kind of, in a way, it's good for him, but in a way, at the same time, he's being ridiculed.
I feel really sorry for him because deep down, he must really hurt.
Yeah, because he's basically just having the piss taken out of him, but he's getting a shitload of money.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Matt Hardy debuted in May. How fucking good has Matt Hardy been? He's been the best thing in wrestling this year, I think.
Yeah. TNA would not be...
They'd be out of business.
I think.
Yeah,
they've struggled to put on shows and all sorts, but I think actually, if Matt Hardy was given creative control, not just for himself and Jeff or whoever, given creative control of TNA, they could flourish, mate.
True.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So clever. Delete or Decay was just...
and the final deletion match.
Final deletion
So
was
good.
incredible.
Yes.
The Lake of Resurrection, is it?
Yeah.
Was amazing. Skarsgård, fucking.
And have you seen
everything.
Dad Hardy?
Dad Hardy was amazing.
I haven't. I'm a bit behind TNA at the moment, so I'm just seeing the start of Dad Hardy. But it's hilarious. Like literally, just as it gets to the part where you think it's going to get old, he does something and changes it.
Yeah.
Whether it's Jeff Hardy,
But it's something you don't see.
breaking. Yeah.
But it's something you don't see. It's like, oh, he's broken Matt Hardy. What's he going to do? He's going to be more broken.
So it is. And just when you got fed up of him teasing Jeff, then Jeff turned broken.
Yeah.
And they then teamed up. And then just when that started getting a bit old, he's now turned to Dad Hardy. Like,
yeah,
it just works so well on every level.
He really knows where he's going with that character.
Yeah,
like
100%.
He has a plan. How long we don't know, but he's got that mapped out, and it really was just. It was almost like as good as wrestling has got. From a technical point of view, from the women stepping up, from the wrestlers that were there, it was almost like Matt Hardy was the missing link to tie it all together.
Yeah.
He's got the gimmicky side to it. He's got the comedic side of it. He's got the serious side of it. But it's just done in such a way that
amazing.
Makes compelling viewing. He's so good.
100%. I think there's very few people that have had a better year, creatively speaking, than Matt Hardy.
Creatively wise, I can't. Yeah.
You
honestly,
can't floor it. As I say, it's just absolutely spot on. In fact, I think I've read what happens in maybe next week or the week after of TNA that I want at the moment, as to how Dad Hardy goes and Broken Matt Hardy returns. But it's just brilliant stuff. It's just like you say, it's comedy, it's horror, it's just entertainment.
It's like I remember we did the podcast for Delete or Decay. And I actually remember us saying, apart from the guy that gets raped, we were saying
that was so wrong.
I know. We were saying that actually it's shot like a horror film.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It was so well done.
But it worked because they were up against Decay, and it worked really well. I don't think it would work with
into Decay's characters.
Yeah,
that's why
it wouldn't have worked very well with any other tag team.
No,
but with that, it worked perfectly, and I'm glad that they haven't tried to recapture that.
I'm pretty sure had he done it with another tag team, it would have been shot in a different way.
Potentially. And I think Jeremy Borash has obviously got a lot we've got to thank him for it as well, because he's basically produced it all.
Yeah.
And shot it all and got the shots he wants. It's just been amazing. Really has. The only other things of note in this trimester, July was the month that not only did the draft and the brand split begin, but also the Cruiserweight Classic. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about that next week.
I was upset by the Cruiserweight Classic.
I want to find out, but I think we'll wait till next week to find that out. But yeah, the brand split, we've done a whole podcast, two whole podcasts.
Yeah,
we did our own brand split, and we did a follow-up on it.
Yep.
So you can obviously go back and check that out. But that kind of breaks down the second trimester.
Yeah, that's.
I guess I've got some leftover turkey that I want to go put in a sandwich.
Are you putting gravy sliced bread in it?
Mate, yes.
Obviously.
I should do that too.
Bit of stuff in cranberry sauce.
And I think later on I'm going around the in-laws' house for round 2 of presents, which is why you don't see everyone on Christmas Day, because then you get round 2 the next day.
Oh, I need to remember that for next year.
2 days of presents. Kapow.
Nice.
But anyway, I hope you guys have had an amazing Christmas.
Yep.
Thank you very much for joining us today on Figure 4 Radio. Luke, we are. I'm going to give it a try now. I'm gonna mark me on this. See how I do. We are on Facebook.com/Figure4TV for all our. No. Facebook. Oh no, Figure 4 Radio. Balls up already.
Where's Kai when you need him?
Facebook.com/Figure4 Radios. That's all our announcements, all our info.
Yep.
The main source of knowledge. But we are on YouTube.
Yeah.
.com/F4TV. We're slowly moving some of our old podcasts onto YouTube.
That's a royal we, by the way.
Yes. You can follow us on social media, like little social media stalkers. We are on Instagram and Twitter at Figure 4 Radio.
Yes, we are.
Subject to popular belief, we're not on Tinder. Thank you, Scott Star Spud. Check out figure4radio.weebly.com because I do blog posts. There's lots more of those coming up. There's also little character bios for us and links to everything else on there.
Yep.
Lots of fun information for you to kill 5 minutes with. But yeah, go read my blog post because I do those for every pay-per-view. I'll give you a prediction beforehand and I give you my
analysis.
review. Yeah, my analysis afterwards. But I've been the mastermind, Ollie Spring.
I've been Luke O'Mac.
Did I get all the plugs in?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome stuff. We'll see you next week on Figure 4 Radio.
Figure 4